Mountaineers. He's up there from the Northern Panhandle.
He's awesome. Tremendous.
Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
I know.
And you were watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
what happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So,
because I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually you want to kind of sports show? It's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
It's going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station, had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who were from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
Five, 3.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is
is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for a Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. It is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. We're in the Health Plan Studios. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe, we're all here, which I think is the final time this week that all three of us here. Of course, the Mountaineers on the road. Both Mountaineer teams on the road this weekend. The women play at Colorado Wednesday. The men travel tomorrow, play at Cincinnati on Thursday. First of all, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
We will take a deep dive into the Cincinnati matchup as the beat reporter for the Cincinnati Enquirer, Scott Springer, is scheduled to join us in just a little bit. And Ross Hodge met the media today as well. We'll get some of his comments along with one Mountaineer player, Jasper Floyd. So we'll hear from the coach coming up. Obviously, an enormously important game for both teams. Coming up, the Mountaineers, despite some recent inconsistency, still in the top half of the standings in the Big 12 Conference. There's a big drop-off there between the top 8 and the bottom 8 in terms of record. And, of course, Cincinnati behind West Virginia in the standings, but they're playing much better at home. They beat Iowa State. They haven't lost at home since very early January, coming off a loss at Houston, of course, but it's an enormously important game for Cincinnati. They don't want to get swept, and West Virginia needs a bounce back after dropping one at home that you shouldn't have lost to Baylor.
Yeah, I think this will be a really competitive, hard-fought game. If you remember back to the game here, these are two really good defensive teams, and it will be rock fight-esque. I'm interested to talk to Scott when he comes on, though. Cincinnati is dinged up in a lot of different areas with players. I think that's the first question we got to ask him is who's available, who's going to play in that game. There's a lot of questions around this Bearcat team, but I agree with you, Kyle. I think it's an important game, and listen, they all are as you head here in February. We've seen again with this league. You watched it last night. Kansas, who was left for dead after they got beat by West Virginia here, has bounced back, and they've been on a tear since. How about their 48 hours? They knock off BYU, then they turn around and get Texas Tech on the road after being down 10 with 8 minutes to go. So that's life in the Big 12. It's never easy.
Yeah, what did you make of that? I mean, Texas Tech was in control.
In control. And what I make of it, Darren Peterson.
Yeah. That's
what I make of it. You got Darren Peterson to play for one of the few times all year, played late through the game. And, guys, I can see why he's by many the projected number one pick in the NBA draft. He is smooth and good and hard to guard, and he bangs home 2 threes in the final 80 seconds, and that was enough to overtake that game. But I'm with you, Kyle. I watched the whole thing, and I'm looking at it thinking, how are we in a game here? Texas Tech was just running away with this thing. But now listen, Tech was without Christian Anderson. That was a big blow to them with a reported illness that if you heard Grant McCaslin talk after the game, they claimed they didn't know that was going to happen, and they had to figure out a plan on the fly without him. So that's certainly a hit when one of the best players in the Big 12 doesn't play.
And again, you get caught up in the Big 12 churn here. All of a sudden, Texas Tech, they're in the top 15 in the country, and they're coming off back-to-back losses. They got upset at Central Florida, got court-stormed twice, and then turn around and have the lead late, lose at home to Kansas.
Yeah, you will probably get a PO'd Texas Tech team rolling in here on Super Bowl Sunday. That certainly will not be easy. Wouldn't mind if Christian Anderson needs to take it easy. I got a big stretch run coming. If he'd just like to rest for that day, that would be fine as well.
You know, it is interesting. I mean, Ross Hodge in his presser today talked a good bit about the slow starts that West Virginia has had. And, I mean, last 4 games, they've gotten out to fairly substantial deficits in each of those. Twice they were able to come back. 2 other times did not work. So, Brad, it's imperative. You just can't keep digging out of double-digit deficits.
You can't. West Virginia's been pretty good at it, but you would rather not start that way. You're right, and especially on the road, just sets that tone early. But, yeah, that'll be – again, if there was an easy answer to that, they'd fix it.
Sure.
Right? They just handle it. But, yeah, that has been a problem for the last few games. There's no doubt.
And you talk about being in control. Cincinnati looked like they were in control here in the up to the final media timeout. And that's the game. You remember that Trayson Eaglestaff hit that crazy three-pointer right in front of the bench, well guarded, pushed out almost on the bench, and he hits that 3, and that sparked the comeback, and West Virginia wins round one against Cincinnati on that night.
That was really the 3-point shooting was the difference in the game. West Virginia made 11. I believe that's the only time in Big 12 play they've hit double-digit threes, and they were behind in some categories in that game all the way around, but made enough shots. Honor and Trey in particular had 8 of those 11 that lead you to the win. So we'll see how that goes on the road. Cincinnati plays as good a defense as anybody in this league. They're going to get after you, those two guys in the middle, and that's why I want to see how Chom's availability is from an injury standpoint. They list him as day-to-day. But those two big guys in the middle are a problem, although they weren't in Morgantown, and that's what I'm keeping an eye on most for Cincinnati. They only had 8 combined points between Baba Miller and Mustafa Chom, and that's potentially a category that could change as we head to Cincinnati.
Baba Miller's been red hot ever since that game.
And before that game. I mean, that's one of the few games he's struggled. He's an all-conference type of player this year and has been outstanding, and he just couldn't do anything against West Virginia.
We talked about the women's team. They're at Colorado tomorrow night, and the fact that they didn't get much of a bump in terms of the national rankings, which really don't mean anything, but they did not get a bump, just up a spot or two after beating Baylor at home. But in the latest bracketology, you've got West Virginia, number 5 seed, and that still puts you on the road, at least according to this puts you in Knoxville. But again, they've got a huge game after beating Baylor at home. It's a tough matchup. Colorado's having a good season, but that's one you need to win if you have designs on finishing in that top 16 and perhaps getting home games in the NCAA.
Yeah, you're right. And it is one spot up from where West Virginia was last week in Charlie Cream's bracketology. But, I mean, I think everybody would be really intrigued if West Virginia went on the road to Tennessee and Kim Caldwell and the Volunteers. I mean, you know, the West Virginia connection there. So, you know, you'd love to see West Virginia continue to climb, got to get victories. To do that, they're not far. I mean, you're just one spot away from moving up into the opportunity to regionally host. So, but obviously, you can't stumble. You got, I think, 7 games left. 5 at least, maybe need 6 of those to be in the discussion.
Which you can do. I mean, you've got some opportunities ahead of you that would be some nice wins. So that's still alive. Hey, Kyle, one other note. Did you see Greg won't participate in this discussion. I know you don't like it either, but maybe the listeners will enjoy this. Coal Rush uniforms introduced.
Really?
Coming out on Sunday for the men's team. They'll break those out against Texas Tech, some new uniforms. So the black Coal Rush uniforms are back. They kind of mirror the football uniforms as well. There's kind of some symmetry
Women wore those their past game against Baylor. So
that makes sense. You've got a ranked opponent coming in. Super Bowl Sunday. It's an afternoon game. You want a big crowd, so you break out the specially designed uniforms.
Yeah, can't wait to see them. I'm a big fan. So that'd be a good text line question tonight. Have you seen them, and do you like the Coal Rush uniforms? 304-TALK-304 if you'd like to weigh in.
I will look them up in the break and give you my thoughts. 304-TALK-304. Do you like the Coal Rush uniforms? Let us know. And those were unveiled today?
Unveiled today.
Okay, so I'm sure they're at the site, the website, the WVU Sports website. We'll take a break. We're underway on the sports line, scheduled to be joined by Scott Springer of the Cincinnati Enquirer. We'll get caught up with the Bearcats, what they've been up to since West Virginia beat them. That was the first home. It's amazing how fast time flies. That was the first Big 12 conference home game.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Doesn't seem like it, but it's been a while.
And yet here we are down the final stretch of the games here. I will say, just old man thoughts here, Greg. I do miss the double round robin.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I do miss that a little bit.
It feels odd to play somebody twice.
It does.
Now.
And this is the first time that West Virginia has done this. First repeat opponent of the year as we head into February.
304-TALK-304. We'll talk Cincinnati. Cincinnati. Got to get a Cincinnati in there. We'll throw that in there. 304-TALK-304. That's the number to call. Sitting at statewide Sportsline since 1979, the health plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years, the health plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps. And never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Calva Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Calva, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop Thoron.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kirchhoff. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios on this Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe. We're all in the studio tonight. Mountaineers travel tomorrow, play at Cincinnati. Coming up on Thursday, the second of two matchups between these two Big 12 conference teams. And we're pleased to be joined by Scott Springer. He's the Bearcats beat writer for the Cincinnati Enquirer. We're going to get caught up with the Bearcats. And Scott, good evening. Thank you very much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it.
Sure thing. I just got done shoveling snow, so what's a better thing to do than a radio interview, huh?
Yeah, exactly. How bad is it there? I mean, did you guys get hit again?
Maybe a couple inches today. I mean, honestly, I had to go to school. They had a press conference with Wes Miller, and then Jizzle James made his first media appearance since he's been back. And so I was down there most of the day, and I didn't think it was that much on the streets. But then when I got to my neighborhood, there was more than I bargained for. So I got a little extra workout in.
All right. Well, we've been in the deep freeze here, too, for over 2 weeks, so we can empathize.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with what Coach Miller had to say today about the health of this team. I know he had made comments previously that this is something he's never been through before in terms of the number of guys who have been slowed, who have missed time, who have been sick. It just seems like it's kind of never ending for the Cincinnati team. So who's going to play tomorrow night? Who's healthy? Or Wednesday night?
Well, yeah. Sincere Harris, or Buck, as you guys may know him, should be back because he was back practicing. But he was out 7 days with the flu, missed 2 games, didn't make the trip to Houston. Shauna Bayev didn't go to Houston, has an ankle sprain and was on crutches, last week. I don't think you're going to see him. I'd be shocked at that because those things can linger on. Tyler McKinley's had knee issues, but he has played through them, so you'll see him. You'll see Kirk Risa. I don't know if it's 100% Kirk Risa or 50% Kirk Risa, or you guys have seen plenty of Kirk, so you know how that goes. It's like, good Kirk can eat you up, and bad Kirk can just make you pull your hair out. But they're hoping to get good Kirk back because they liked it when he was in with Jizzle James and Day Thomas. They like that combination. It's just they haven't had that much of it. Who am I missing here? It seems like there's another one. Jalen Haynes has not played all year. He's a big man that they had hoped to help him in the paint, and I don't think he's going to play. I think he's angling for a medical red shirt. So, and I think in order to get that, he can't play. I don't know how that works, but there's some stuff going on there. So he has not played. I think that about covers it. You're right, though. It's been uncanny how many guys have gone down or have been sick or have had one issue or another. Jalen Celestine didn't practice for most of the summer and then had to come back and has dealt with back issues and wears some sort of a heating device as he's warming up. I mean, I think I need one just to sit there and write sometimes. It gets kind of cramped. But, he hit shots. He hit shots against West Virginia last time, but you need more than that. What they really need is Day Thomas and Jizzle James have to score, and when they get shut down, and Houston shuts a lot of people down. That's who they faced Saturday. But it just was, Mustafa Cham, that's the big one there. He goes out of the game in Houston after, less than 12 minutes, and it's an ankle thing with him. So today's word was day-to-day. So I'm going to guess that they're going to do everything they can to get him ready for Thursday. I don't know anything positively, but I was led to believe that wasn't as serious as Shauna Bayev's. So, with trying to play Houston when your starting center's out, a couple other guys that have started are out. That's not a good recipe because they're so tough down there. They just eat you alive.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Houston's very good, resounding victory in Houston this past weekend, and also got beat up by Arizona, but a lot of people do that as well. But there have been some positive. Win over Iowa State certainly has got to be one. Beat Baylor their last time at home. So just give us an overview of the season as a whole. Disappointing about where you thought. What do you think of Wes Miller's club so far this year?
Well, you'd have to say disappointing overall because I really thought that they had increased the talent over last year's team who underperformed. Last year's team was number 20 preseason, number 16 at one point, and then they got to January and things unraveled. Mountaineers beat them twice. A lot of people beat them, and they wind up 19-16 and in the Crown. And in the Crown, they lost to UCF, who had 8 guys in the portal. Now, that was kind of a crazy tournament. But this year, I thought it was an upgrade with Baba Miller and Mustafa Cham and with a healthy Kirk Risa and Harris's defense and all that. But it's been injuries and a number of things and just things haven't always gelled and just the struggle to finish games. And you can go back to the game in Morgantown, 5-point lead fairly late, and then I think Eaglestaff hits the 3 with a $1:12 to go, and Cincinnati went from the last 4 minutes and change, didn't score, and then the Mountaineers got the win. It's just, I tell you, home court advantage in this league is crazy. It is so tough to get a road win, I think. If get a road win in this league, man, just jump on the bus and scream and take off because that's really something.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. It's about a 63% winning percentage for the home teams this year. It feels like it's about 93 in those games. Scott, give us a little insight. When this Cincinnati team is going well and it's winning games, as we saw against Iowa State earlier this year, you got Colorado as well at home. What are the Bearcats doing? Is it as simple as just making shots? I know they take a ton of threes. Is it simply the shots are going in and that's what determines a win or loss for this Bearcat team?
Sometimes it doesn't seem like they're taking as many threes as they did, but they and they actually made more threes than Houston the other day. I think 10-9, but it's turning the ball over mainly. Against Houston, you turn the ball over 19 times, and they only have 4. You're going to lose most of those. So it's just making good decisions, working the ball around, and getting better looks and things like that. And Houston forces you into a lot of bad looks, and then they shut down Bava Miller. When Bava Miller's going pretty good, you're going to win. But when Bava Miller scores 2 points, it's not going to be a good night for you. So I would imagine they're going to play better at home regardless of who plays. I don't know who's all going to be back. I think really the only one that you're going to miss for sure would be Abayev, and I would suspect Chom to play. I don't know, again, for sure, but just I would suspect they can get him back, and then Harris should be back because I think he would just enjoy playing against West Virginia. But, if he's been out with the flu, how strong is he? I don't know. And as you guys know, West Virginia, the last game, just let him shoot because you guys had seen him. It's like you're leaving this guy open on threes, and he's taking them. It's like, let the 16% guy hoist a few there. Great defensive player. I love the attitude and the effort that he plays with. But as you guys could relate to, sometimes it's like, don't shoot it. Just give it to somebody else.
You mentioned Jizzle James spoke today for the first time since his return, which for the rest of us looking from afar caught us completely off guard because in the offseason that was laid out as to be no chance of him coming back. And then all of a sudden, halfway through the season, not only is he in there, but he's playing as many minutes as anybody. So what has he had to say about that? And, how did that situation play out?
Well, they tried to keep it private, and, we have not been allowed to go to a lot of practices. So I can't really tell you for sure when he started practicing, but I know he randomly showed up at a game December 1st and I was happy to see him. I have 4 sons, and I know kids can do goofy things. And number one, he looked healthy. I was happy to see him. And then he said he was working out and trying to get back. Well, I'm thinking, well, shoot, maybe February or something like that. And next thing you know, December 17th, he was playing. And he looked pretty good when he came out playing, too. So, but, yeah, that was a strange situation that he had some stuff going on. If you followed his social media, it was like, what's going on with him? This is not good. And then in August, they put out that release. The one thing in the release that I noted, though, when Cincinnati put it out, is they used the term not currently. And a lot of people flew with dismissed, gone, see ya. But when I saw not currently, that to me felt like there was an open window a little bit. And then I also knew that his Edgerrin James, you follow him on Instagram, he moved a younger son into Cincinnati, into a dorm that same month. So putting 2 and 2 together, it's like, I don't think the door is totally shut on this, because why would he send his younger son to school there if they had just booted Jizzle? So, and I think that's kind of the way it worked out. And fortunately for Jizzle, he wants to keep the matter private and all, but he looks healthy, seems happy. He's not scoring at the clip that he did last year. You have some different weapons there. He is shooting the ball a little bit better. So I'm glad he's back doing what he's doing. I mean, that's good for him. And he made some bad decisions, and hopefully he learned from those things, because he's way too young to be giving the game up.
Yeah, Scott, certainly, as you said earlier, every road win in the Big 12 is certainly precious, and Fifth Third Arena is a very good home court advantage traditionally. What are the crowds going to be like on Thursday? people lost enthusiasm, or are they still pretty boisterous?
The last game against Baylor, yeah, they're not happy, and Wes gets booed at the end. They introduced the lineup, and I'm not a big boo person. I don't know, but I've never saw the value in that. But they had 9,900 against Baylor, so that's not a bad crowd. I mean, if you want to compare crowds, Houston's place only fits so many, but Fertitta Center, a sellout is 7,035. So there's more people watching him, and then your place holds more. So yeah, they've been on. I don't think they've had any less than 8 something, and then they've not had any sellouts that I recall. But I think the Iowa State game there maybe was 11,000 or close to it. The capacity is 12,012. The old capacity in the old arena that Coach Huggins was in was 13,176. We all had that memorized because that's about what they drew in the heyday. So yeah, there's still people there. It's still West Virginia. What else are you going to do? It's snowing and lousy outside, so why not come watch the basketball?
Scott, let's go back to Baba Miller for a second, because I think he's just had a fantastic year. I think that's been a great addition, and I think you said it correctly. As he goes, Cincinnati goes. But both he and Chom struggled a little bit here at West Virginia to make an impact on the offensive end. And I know it was a rock fight type of game, but just 8 points in between those two. Give us just a little sense of where they are offensively with Baba. Is most of his stuff come on offensive rebounds? Are they running more sets for him? Has anything changed since the last time we saw them offensively with him in particular?
Well, they have been trying to run through him a little bit, and either he gets a decent look at the basket or drive, or he's been doing a kind of a two-hand overhead pass to the weak side to somebody open. So he's done a decent job passing the ball, and he did a decent job passing the ball against Houston. So yes, he's one of those guys that's like you're going, why is he not scoring so much? And then suddenly he'll have a burst of 6 or 8 points, and they're usually pretty emphatic, like dunks and stuff. Chom has come along with his shot, I think, since they played you guys. He's had a little bit more of a mid-range game, and he actually can hit a 3 every now and then. People don't like to see a 7'2" guy shooting a 3, but he's not half bad at them, and he can make some. So he just needs to be aggressive. He's still so young to the game, a 19-year-old kid, and just started playing, when he was 14. So, he's a project yet. I think he'll be better. Obviously, as an NBA body, it would probably behoove him to stay in college, if for anything, for the money anymore. These guys are making a killing. So.
Absolutely. Well, long term, I mean, obviously this is a huge game for both teams, and it seems like with the situation there with Wes Miller, this is one that that he needs to get in terms of perhaps job security.
Yeah, I think at this point you need them all, because you're looking 11-11, and if they lose to West Virginia, you're under 500, and they've not been in that situation since the COVID year, which was the last year that John Brannon was here, and his team, I think that they started 2-7, finished 12-11 in that abbreviated year. But outside of that, you haven't been below 500 since Mick Cronin's first couple of years, and those are teams that that program was decimated because after Bob, they had Andy for a year. Mm-hmm. Andy wasn't allowed to recruit, and that I don't know how you sustain a program when you can't go out and get guys. But that's another story, another book, really. But Cronin comes in with a bunch of ragtag guys, and he's playing in the Big East, and wins 11 games one year, 13, and then from there you build it up. And the last time you've been to an NCAA tournament was with Mick in 2019. And here's a disturbing stat. I mean, I know you guys are calling about Mountaineers, but haven't just covered the Houston game. The Houston, I think that series is now 33-19 in favor of Cincinnati still. But when Mick Cronin left, and of course, obviously Bob Huggins beat him, and Andy and whoever else, but just from the end of when Cronin left, it was 32-5 Cincinnati. And in that time, Houston that's 14 straight.
Wow.
And they beat you down, and like everyone says, and Kelvin Sampson even says, he saw Cincinnati in the past as the bell cow with these big guys that they beat you up. They do what they do. It's not pretty, but they win. He's taken that blueprint, and it's working.
Yeah. Well, good information. We appreciate it, Scott, and enjoy the game. Hopefully you get through the snow there, and Mountaineers will get in and out. We appreciate your time, and thanks for the insight on the Bearcats.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Scott Springer there, Cincinnati beat reporter for the Cincinnati Enquirer.
Interesting on the injury information.
Yeah.
I think that Chom is big. Abayev being out most likely won't affect it. He didn't play much here. You knew Sincere would be back. He's not going to miss that game. Kirk Harris is an interesting one there, right? We've seen him a bunch, and Scott makes a good point. If you get good Kerr, he does a lot well, can make a three, has struggled, though, statistically. So I'll be interested to see how much he actually plays, if at all, tomorrow.
Check the text line. We'll hear from Ross Hodge when we return this month. Protect what you love, your business, your data, and your reputation. CityNet Cybersecurity Solutions help guard against threats like ransomware, phishing, and data loss, all backed by local experts. Show your business some love with CityNet, connecting, protecting, and perfecting West Virginia businesses. Call CityNet today at 1-844-CityNet.
We're expanding our ultra-fast fiber network across West Virginia, bringing reliable, lightning-fast internet to more homes every day. With plans up to 10 gig, you'll enjoy unbeatable speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home. And right now, new customers get 50% off any plan for their first year, now as low as $25 a month. No contracts, free installation, local support you can count on. Check availability today at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorough.
Coming to Parkersburg High School, February 6th and 7th. Who are the toughest men and women in the state of West Virginia? Watch Tough Man live on Metro News Television to find out. Featured fights, top 5 finishes, and event archives. Download Metro News Television on iPhone, iPad, Android, Roku, LG TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Find out more at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline, Health Plan Studios, 304 Talk 304. Thoughts on the Coal Rush jerseys. We'll get to some other texts as well. Texter says, couldn't see what the shorts look like, but I like the Coal Rush jerseys. So there's a vote for. And then right after that, Tex says, I'm not a fan of the black uniform. Seems like we lose every time we wear them.
Went to a Final Four wearing black uniforms. Never forget that.
That's true.
Beat Kentucky.
That's a good point.
Everybody talked about the Coal Rush, so in football, lost to TCU in Coal Rush uniforms, if you remember.
A different sport.
Okay.
304 Talk 304. We'll get to some other texts here. Your thoughts on the Coal Rush jerseys at the text line. What did Mountaineer coach Ross Hodge have to say today? Of course, that was one of the crazier games of the year. The first game was Cincinnati. Everybody remembers the Eagle Staff 3, but that was the biggest shot of the game. But there was a lot that happened after that. There's a lot that happened.
Honor had a big shot in that game, and that was one that West Virginia snatched away there. Cincinnati, you go through some of the numbers, they hit the marks that they normally hit in wins, and West Virginia hung around, then was able to hit that big shot late, those couple big shots late, and took that from them.
Huff had a 3 with a little over 2 minutes remaining, then Trayson's 3 with 1:12 to go. Shot clock down to 1 when he hoisted it. And then you had Baba Miller took the bad shot that was rebounded. That led to free throws eventually by Honor, who made them both. Mountaineers go up 3. They miss another 3. Trayson gets the rebound, goes to the line, hits 2 more, 62-57. And then it was James hit the 3 in just the final seconds, and then the near turnover on the inbounds.
Yeah, although it wouldn't have been. The clock would have run out because the ball was tipped. But it was weird. They did some bizarre things. The Baba Miller 3 was right at the top of the list. They came out of 2 timeouts late in the game and just got horrific shots for them. And that's why I was asking Scott about that 3-point attempt rate for them and them taking threes. They've continued to do this. They are one of the most high-volume 3-point shooting teams in the country and one of the worst shooting teams in the country, and they don't stop. Nearly 60% of their shots against West Virginia the first round were threes. Now, they made 12 of them, which was slightly above their season average, but it's a bizarre approach at times how often they just fire threes. So there's a lot of variance in their games. If they're missing threes, then that's when your shot is to take over, and they did that late against West Virginia, taking some really questionable shots.
Cincinnati was 12 of 35 from 3 in that game and shot 62 shots overall. So you're right, more than half of them were 3. 22 of 62 overall, 12 of 35 for 3. West Virginia made 11 of 23 from 3. All right, Ross Hodge on the rematch, game number 2 of the year with Cincinnati.
It's kind of unique in the time period that we're in college athletics is here we are already in February, and you're still kind of experiencing a first with your team and your group. This is the first time you've played a team for the second time as a group. Now, we've all done it, but collectively. And so, yeah, you're looking at it, okay, like the first time we played, hey, like this is some things they did that hurt us, and you would imagine that they're looking at that and feeling like, hey, we have an advantage in these areas, and what can you do to counterbalance that? And then also predicting things that you did to hurt them, assuming they may have a counter and not let you do that.
Mountaineers had a big rebounding advantage in that game despite the size of Cincinnati up front. So that was one thing West Virginia did pretty well. And, again, hit enough shots to win that contest, including the 2 late threes, one by Honor, one by Trayson.
Yeah, one area that I'm keeping an eye on that West Virginia's got to get cleaned up. It's dead last right now in turnover percentage in Big 12 conference play, and You escaped one against Cincinnati. When Cincinnati wins, they average plus 10 points off turnovers. That's exactly what they were in this game. They had an 18-8 advantage, plus 10 over West Virginia, and WVU still was able to get the win. So that's an area that this team's been working a lot with, but they have got to clean up the turnovers. The possessions are too few. If you play like West Virginia does, you can't just give away those silly passes or not protecting the ball. That's really going to cost you at some point. They've got to clean that up, or Cincinnati will make you pay Thursday.
Brad, as Coach Hodge alluded to there, this is the first time West Virginia will play an opponent for the second time this season. They only do it 3 times total. Also Kansas State, who they faced once, in UCF, who they haven't to this point faced at all. But big difference. How big a difference is the first to the second? Scout easier the second time around?
I think it could be potentially a big difference. I mean, you have some familiarity here, and you know what the other team is going to do. That's why I'm interested to see. If I'm Wes Miller, I utilize the bigs inside. I absolutely look at that and say, Baba Miller only scored 4 points. Like, knock off the threes a little bit and get the ball to Baba Miller and see if he can do some work inside. If you're West Virginia, as I mentioned, you want to have the same defensive approach. Close that lane off, close the roll. They love to do those lobs up to the bigs. West Virginia has shut that off for the last 2 years against Cincinnati and done a great job. And you saw West Virginia's defense force all of those three-pointers. That's what you want to do. You don't have to force them a lot because, as we just said, that's what they want to do. But that's, to me, the biggest switch. If I'm Cincinnati, I got to get Baba Miller involved a little bit more.
We mentioned earlier West Virginia's slow starts the last 4 games. Coach Ross Hodge on what's going on there with the slow starts.
A large part of the season we were getting off to really fast starts, and we were kind of having a harder time finishing. And then really started in the Arizona State game. We got off to a slow start there, Arizona, then you come back for the last 2 at home. And so it's a combination of a lot of different things that you're looking at. Obviously, we're evaluating that, and looking at it, and it's not just one singular issue. It's a lot of things. Some of it's personnel issues, some of it's coaching issues, some of it's not finishing and not, you are getting the ball where you want to get it early in these games, and maybe you're not making the play, and so then you got to evaluate as a coach, well, maybe that's not the best way to start these games, but everybody's kind of had their hand in it.
So not one thing, many things adding up to not getting off to a good start, but again, you can't afford that on the road.
Those are impossible questions to answer, though, right? I mean, if you knew what it was, you would have done it, and it wouldn't have gone 4 games. I do think turnovers is going to be right at the very top of the list on that, though. If you come out and take care of the basketball, get some good shots, get a couple buckets early, and get that thing started, that would help a lot, because you're right. I have a feeling that crowd will be ready to go, and if you get behind early, it's going to be a tough comeback, especially the way Cincinnati plays defense. Right, that's a really good defensive team. So this might be, again, first one to 60 probably has the inside track to the win here.
Size wasn't a factor in the first game. Again, West Virginia won the rebounding battle 31-23. Chom, 27 minutes played, had just 4 rebounds and 4 points. And also Baba Miller, one of their bigs, 4 points in that contest, had 0 offensive rebounds, 7 boards overall. Coach Ross Hodge on Cincinnati's big men.
Baba's so talented, and Thom, they have such great length that you gotta make sure you're not giving them second chance points, and you got to keep them out of transition. And in that first game, they had 18 points off our turnovers, which a lot of those were direct runouts, and so you gotta, like I said, you gotta make sure you're doing the little things in the margin, blocking them out, making it hard on them, and not giving them easies.
Yeah, to his point, 11 of the 18 were live ball turnovers. Here's where you got to break. Cincinnati was just 1 of 6 from 3 on those 11 turnovers. They love to fire the 3, so had a couple more of those gone, you were in some more trouble. So again, if you were looking for a number 1 key, you want an early key, Kyle, take care of the basketball. Like, you got to cut those turnovers down. Now, that's hard against a good defensive team, but major area Thursday.
Well, you turn the ball over and get behind, raucous crowd at Cincinnati, you probably don't come back. if you make the mistakes early and get buried, this is a tough one to dig yourself out of the hole on the road.
Part of West Virginia's success in these comebacks has been the defense. The second half defense in some of these games, you've held multiple teams to sub 40% field goal percentage going back to the Kansas game. And if you could just get that started, because it's really stark. There's been close to 60% field goal percentage against West Virginia in first halves here, and then they absolutely lock you down in the second. We saw it again against Baylor on Saturday. That was the exact formula. High 50s in the first half, cut them down to the 30s in the second half. You just didn't have an offense to get over the hump, but got to get started earlier with defense for 40 minutes.
304 Talk 304. We'll get back to the text line when we return. Final break. CityNet Statewide Sportsline continues from the Health Plan Studios after this.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence, and the great outdoors is coming inside. Join me at the 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. More than 100,000 square feet of fishing gear and hunting supplies, outfitters and charter boats, ATVs, campers and tractors, guns, knives, and much more, all under one roof. An outdoorsman's paradise. The West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th in Morgantown. A WVRC media event.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps. And never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Life is busy. Your healthcare shouldn't slow you down. With WVU Medicine's My WVU Chart app, you can schedule your appointments anytime, anywhere, right from your phone or computer. Whether it's a virtual visit or an in-person checkup, booking is quick and easy. Don't have an account? Sign up today at mywvuchart.com or download the app. Take control of your health with WVU Medicine and My WVU Chart.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds.
My dad always said, don't let any one individual control your destiny, what you do, what your value is. And I wasn't about to let Paterno do that to me. I mean, it was just a phenomenal time, my first game, and to be accepted as a Mountaineer.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
Final few minutes on the sports line. Let's get to the text. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, can't give up on this Mountaineer team yet. This is the same team that scored 86 points on Kansas. Hasn't lost a game. Kansas hasn't lost a game since. 75 points on the road at Arizona State. Let's regroup and start playing like we are capable of.
There you go.
There's an optimistic fan. Texter says, I would like you guys to give me your thoughts on some articles pushing for a hug and salute. It's deserved. I would agree. It's hard not to agree with that.
Someday that'll happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what the timing of that looks like, but yeah, certainly someday that'll happen.
Time heals, right? Texter says, needed the Baylor game, need this game. That would put you at 7 league wins. Hopefully you squeeze out a couple more, and you're pretty good shape for the NCAA tournament. If you lose to Cincinnati Thursday, you're in bad trouble. And ask anyone signing in football tomorrow.
Not that I've heard of.
304 Talk 304. That's finally calmed down a little bit, right?
Yeah, it is the start of what used to be the traditional signing period. But
talk about something that's been marginalized.
Exactly. I mean, it's completely off the radar.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I hadn't even thought of that. So it's February 4th. That's the traditional signing period. Okay.
But it's first Wednesday of February.
All right.
And West Virginia actually may sign a player or two who's actually already verbally committed to them and won't be coming in until later. But I don't think there's anybody, at least to my knowledge, that's new to it.
Texter says, are they ever going to honor a Mountaineer great with putting a name on the court? Jerry West, Gail Catlett, Rod Hundley? Or are they waiting until enough time has passed so they can put Coach Huggins' name on it? Any thoughts or preferences for those? Well, West and Hundley have the statues.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Of course, in today's day and age, if there's not some dollars attached to naming of the court, I don't know that you'll see a whole lot of that anymore. There's other ways to honor your greats, but namings of the court might be a thing of the past unless there's some dollars.
Another factor, Texter says, another factor in the game against Cincinnati Thursday night, the Bunnies need to go in. A lot of chippies around the rim.
Man, I agree. I thought that was a big difference in the Baylor game. He just couldn't get some good looks inside the lane to drop. We talked about those numbers last night on here, but I agree. If you get in there, and some of those are going to have to be, it's going to be a challenge to get right to the rim with those two shot blockers, assuming Chom plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get right to the rim against these guys. So your ability to pull up in the lane, get the teardrop, your ability to draw some fouls, you got to be aggressive, go right into their chest and get to the free throw line a little bit too.
Texter says, theme of the hug and salute, we'll fix it. That's good. That's good. That's a pretty good line. Last text here. Not in favor of changing uniforms for different occasions. I think they should have no more than 4. Changing uniforms like they do seems like a waste of money. Of course, I'm old school. Do they have more than 4?
White, gray, black, Jerry West blue.
Okay, well.
Throwback white. Yeah, there's a bunch.
Of course, West Virginia didn't pay for their uniforms.
That's true. That's a good point. Want to remind you real quick that if you're a high school basketball fan, you want to see where your team ranks, check out the Tudors Biscuit World Power Rankings at WVMetroNews.com, and we will update those in just a few days. We've got High School Sportsline coming up tomorrow night and an updated Tudors Biscuit World Basketball Power Ranking coming out on Friday. Tomorrow night, okay, so the basketball teams are on the road. The women tomorrow at Colorado, the men Thursday at Cincinnati. If you're looking for a Mountaineer sporting event, Friday night wrestling at the Coliseum against Missouri, 2 ranked teams. So we'll preview that tomorrow with head coach Tim Flynn. Thanks for joining us on the Sports Line. Come back tomorrow.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sports Line is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.